Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's Monday night. That means it's time for braid school. You're not going to see my face today because your girl got some micro needling done, and if you've ever done that, then you know that it is a mess on this face and you can't wear makeup. So instead, our girl Sheila is going to be the face of today's video. Before we get started, let's make sure we acknowledge all of the correct answers from last week's pop quiz. And if you'd like to participate in this week's pop quiz, make sure you stay tuned to the end of today's video. So today is going to be kind of a redo from a live that we did a long time ago. It was kind of chaotic, but I was trying to show you guys how to do basic cornrows. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you step-by-step basic cornrows for beginners, and then also stitch braids as well. But let's talk about this mannequin real quick. Someone in our last video had asked a question about their mannequin. They said they were using it a lot and now the hair was starting to fall out. If you're practicing, I strongly advise that you use a human hair mannequin like this one. I've had all of my mannequins for many years and I've never had any issues with the hair falling out. So aside from normal wear and tear, I would strongly advise just washing your mannequin and conditioning your mannequin periodically, especially if you're using a human hair one. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So Miss Sheila here, we've been practicing on her, and these are the areas where we've been practicing. As you can see, there's like some buildup from the products that we were using. Hair is stiff and not really doing much, but this section of the hair is still light and it's manageable. So before we get started, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and just wash and condition out these sections of the hair, and then we're going to come back. All right, so we're all done washing. I basically just shampooed those sections and then I blow dried everything out, and you see the difference. The hair is nice and free flowing at this point. So again, it is human hair and you want to maintain it and treat it like it's actual human hair. And your mannequins should last a long time unless you are actually frying and dyeing them. Then that's a different story. But we want a clean foundation for the cornrows that we're doing today. So one major challenge that I've always had with recording these type of videos for cornrows is camera angles. So I'm going to do my best to show you guys detailed from the front and from the back. We're going to start with this one, and I'm going to show you how to cornrow without product. Don't worry about the hand placement. If you can get the concept down, all you have to do is start practicing. I've already got it sectioned out here. I'm going to start with a braid. So we're going to start with a braid. We're going to split that into 3 pieces. So we got our 3, and we're going to start braiding as if we were braiding just a regular braid. So this is my first rotation. Now you see this leg here. This is the leg that is coming up and over. As that leg is coming up and over, I want to grab some hair to bring with it, like so. And then you continue going. Same thing with this one. This one is coming up and over. As it's coming across, I want to grab some hair and bring it along with me, like so. Now we've got our 3rd leg. Now this one is the star of the show. It's going under and over in the middle. Now I want to grab some hair and just bring it along for the ride. And you notice I'm just keeping everything separate. Continue with my rotations. Now we got this one as the middle leg. We're going to grab some hair, bring it along for the ride. Now this is our middle leg. Grab some hair, bring it along for the ride. And if you just keep doing this and you understand the concept, hand placement will not be an issue for you, because everybody is going to braid differently. Some people braid with their hands like this, some people braid like this, some people braid with just the 2 fingers, and then I've seen a lot of rock star braiders braid just the way that I'm showing you right now. And a lot of times it's better because when you're holding the braid legs like this, you can see exactly where your braid is going. So now this one's coming up and around. I'm gonna grab a little bit of hair and bring it along for the ride. So now that we got the concept, every rotation, as I'm hitting that middle leg, I'm grabbing hair. And see, now I've changed my hand placement so that I have better grip when I'm holding the hair. Like so. Now let me show you from the back. This leg is coming around right here. Coming around. We're gonna bring some hair to add to that middle leg. So every time you cross a middle leg, you're gonna bring some hair along for the ride. And you see I've changed my hand placement again just so you can see the braid. And note that whenever I am crossing, my dominant hand in the cross is actually gripping and holding the braid in place in the middle of the section. So this is why grip game is important. If you braid loosely, your braids will probably loosen up faster. If you braid tighter, you'll be able to do more feed-in work, more stitch work. Same. Also, I want you to note that I am grabbing very small pieces of hair. I'm going to show you what happens if you try to grab a big chunk. If you're going along and you try to grab a big chunk of hair, let's say you grab a big chunk of hair, then what's going to happen is it's going to redirect the braid down to the bottom of where that chunk is. And now all three of your legs are now not balanced. So now you have a large leg and two smaller legs right here who need to catch up. And that's how you get an uneven cornrow. Then also the grip kind of loosens up as well because you see this big chunk right here. It doesn't look even, and then now this little small one is trying to hold on for dear life to keep this big chunk in place. Now using this same section, I'm going to show you that you can make the braid smaller by just grabbing smaller pieces and starting with a smaller braid. So for example, if this client had wanted their braids to come at an angle, I would start right here and grab a very small piece. And then start that in 3. And then as I move along, I'm only going to pick up very small pieces. And you're going to notice that the structure of the braid is going to be a little bit different than the one that we just did. You see I'm grabbing small pieces. Again, I'm not using product for this. This is just for demonstration. And if you are practicing, I would strongly suggest practicing without product, because if you can master it without product, then your results will be consistent all the time. Got a couple pieces of hair, little stragglers there. Let's see, I'm gonna grab a little bit smaller of a piece. Very, very small amounts. So this changes the size of the braid and the look of the braid. And then this is another situation where your grip game is going to be tested, because the smaller the braid, the tighter your fingers are going to have to be to hold it in place as you rotate. So you see how that already looks a little bit different than the first one. Now if you would like to practice on your hand placement, one thing that I did to teach myself how to cornrow is I would sit in front of the TV and cornrow my own hair. And I would do it blindly. That way I would be focusing on my hands and not what I'm looking at. Because once your hands know what to do, when you get to the back of the head and you're in this viewpoint that we're in now, you can focus on how it looks as opposed to where your hands are going. And there you have it, a much tighter, neater braid, no product. All right, if you made it this far, congratulations. You actually already know how to do stitch braids. The only difference is we are being a little bit more intentional about how we pick up our pieces. And we're going to use a whole lot more product to help us get more of a streamlined look. So I'm going to go ahead and just slather this section. And I want the entire section coated because I want it as smooth and as sleek as possible. Now, the amount of product you use is going to depend on the hair type you're working with. The straighter the hair, the less product you will need. The more coarse the hair, the more product that you're going to need. But remember, product is just helping you get the desired look that you're going for. And it's going to help you with your grip game as well. So I'm making sure that there's product all throughout the roots of the hair, because I want to be able to clearly see where each of my stitches are going to be. Again, if you have a mannequin, this is a perfect time to start following along. Again, like we did in that first braid, we're going to section off our first row. I'm going to try to get this a little bit smaller. Now all there's left to do is to start our braid like we did the other one. So we're going to start with 3 and get them nice and tight. We're going to lock them in. You see how that's locked in? Now this is my middle leg. I'm going to start picking up very intentional pieces and I'm going to cut. This is why having nails or a tool of some sort helps with that. If you don't have nails, you can use your fingers. You just got to be intentional about picking up the piece like so. And then making sure that that line is clearly defined before you add it to it. And then 2, we're going to be picking up from both sides. So we're going to stop that cut kind of right in the middle of where we want the braid to land. Now that it's attached to my middle leg, we're going to rotate. Now we've got this middle leg. One thing that has helped me with stitches so that you can see them, because from my point of view, I can't really see what's happening. I'm kind of trusting my own process here. But one thing that helps is by pulling the hair like so and then cutting it. Then you're going to grab it with that middle leg, make sure it's nice and clean, then continue your rotations. Again here, I'm going to pull the hair back and then I'm going to cut it with my finger. I'm using my ring finger. Some people use their pinkies, but my ring finger is my stronger finger. I just cut it and then add it to that middle leg. Same thing here. I'm pulling it, using my ring finger, cutting it, and then if the hair is buckling, just grab your comb and smooth it out. Remember, our grip hand is going to control the direction of the braid. Again, I'm holding it and then cutting. And we're just being intentional about the size of each stitch. You can go smaller or you could go bigger. And I need Sheila to stop sliding, girl. Stop sliding. Stitch. Alright, I'm going to pull it back. cut, and it's adding to the middle leg, stitch, cut, and one thing to note while I am showing you guys this is that stitch braids are a vanity braid, meaning that the stitches that you see here, they're not going to be visible after about 2 weeks or so, because once the hair starts to grow out, the stitches are going to start to disappear. So really, stitch is just a vanity type of braid. It's popular because it's aesthetically pleasing. Another thing to note is with each rotation when you cornrow, you see what I'm doing with my hand here? I'm pulling. I'm making sure that the hair is smooth. I'm making sure that the hair is smooth. If the hair is not smooth or tangling, comb it out, because that's going to determine how smooth these braid pieces here are. You see, it's taking me a little bit longer to do this because I'm being more intentional about where my stitches are going, how I'm grabbing it, whether the braid is smooth. It just takes a little bit more effort. On different clients, it's going to look very different, but it's still intentional and still has an aesthetic pleasing note to it. All right, if you made it this far, that means it's pop quiz time. Today's question comes from today's video. And in the beginning of the video, we talked about mannequins, what type of mannequins are great for braiding, how to care for them, how I've had mine for such a long time. And the question is, what do I name my mannequins? If you've been with me for a while, this is an easy one for you guys. So make sure you drop your answers in the comment section below, and you'll be featured in next week's video. As always, if you learned something, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and make sure you tell a friend. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more content just like this every week. And if you have questions that you would like demoed on the channel, drop them in the comment section below, or you can leave them anonymously at the link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.